and welcome to your favorite Power News Magazine program, Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Here are the top stories. NAPTIN lauds TCN management, seeks stronger ties. TCN trains staff on transformer design models. Routine substation maintenance in Jos region, boosting bulk power delivery, TCN. The interview segment is on the Benin region and its activities. The Assistant General Manager, Transmission, Benin Transmission Subregion, Engineer Isaac Okwe, speaks on how TCN utilized its in-house engineering capacity to fix transmission line on River Ethiopia, rebuild collapsed tower in Delta, and deliver on more transmission projects. Expect the full reports as you stay with us to the end of this edition of Power Wheel. I am Chiwenwa Anyang. The National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, has called for stronger cooperation from the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to boost capacity building in the Nigerian power sector.
The NAPTIN management, led by its Director General, Mr. Ahmed Bolaji Nagode, made a call when it paid a courtesy call on the management of TCN at the corporate headquarters in Abuja recently. Mr. Nagode, in his address, said the visit was historic to thank the TCN management for its support.
We're really glad to be here. We're just here to say thank you. I think I should just put it. I've been trained, to know how to say thank you when you've worked, with an organization and you have seen, that organization has really impacted, on your own organization and has really impacted significantly on the growth, and development of your organization. On my receiving my confirmation, this is the first visit I'll come, and then I deem it necessary to be here.
Mr. Nagode cited some of the support NAPTIN has gotten from TCN, the MD, CEO of TCN, and the Chairman of Board of Directors of the West African Power Pool, WAP, Mr. Mohammed. He said the Institute got its rightful place as a center of excellence at WAP.
In following on that one, we've been able to train staff of Liberia Electricity Corporation on 2 occasions. The first batch was 36 engineers from Liberia, and the second batch happened to be 80. So all in all, we have trained 120 staff of Liberia Electricity Corporation. Not only that we've trained, the fact still remains that through this training, we have been able, to earn foreign exchange, which has also contributed to the TSA funding, of the Nigerian revenue, which I must, really say that its leadership of West African Power as the chairman has really rubbed on us in NAPTIN and has contributed, to our own success story.
He said the French Development Agency AFD-funded project for infrastructure support at NAPTIN will soon begin, and that the Institute will continually seek the support of TCN.
I will not hesitate to always come around, to really seek your support in areas where we think, you will definitely, be of assistance, to us.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, who welcomed the NAPTIN boss, congratulated him on his confirmation as a substantive Director General of NAPTIN, saying it was a confirmation of his performance. He said TCN and NAPTIN had collaborated on different projects and capacity building efforts.
NAPTIN has successfully done the preparation of that project that is funded by AFD, and that project will rehabilitate and upgrade a lot of their equipment and the training centers. Also, we have worked together with him to train several TCN engineers, both through our in-house resources and also with the support we get from APWA through the African Development Bank. We trained several engineers, I think up to 300 engineers in the first batch with the APWA, and that is also go down a long way to upgrade the skills and capacity of our engineers. We are also working with NAPTIN to see that NAPTIN is got ISO certification. And we also work with NAPTIN through this period to ensure that NAPTIN becomes center of excellence of work, and also APUA, which are also significant achievement that he did. So we hope that with this confirmation, he will have more power to do many things more than what he's doing. So we expect a lot from you now that you are a substantive DG.
Mr. Mohammed assured the NAPTIN DG that TCN will continue to support the institute, especially in getting to have it train more of TCN staff at its facilities. He noted that the management was working towards beginning the second batch of training of TCN staff, which will be conducted by NAPTIN.
We believe that we are going to work together to do many things. I think I just saw a meme that we are commencing the second phase of the training. So this is to tell you that we are not just leaving you away, we are thinking of you. Thank you.
In his remarks, the head transmission service provider TSP of TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said the previous TCN staff training conducted by NAPTIN was yielding results.
The last training we had, we equally sent out our feelers to see how our engineers fared, in that training. The good thing is that we are hearing that training is very, very productive, and going forward, we want a situation whereby some even more advanced, training could be, carried out in NAPTIN, because you agree with me that in this sector, you can't find any trainer better than what we have in NAPTIN and even in TCN.
Also, the independent system operator ISO TCN, Mr. Mamman Lawal, commended the NAPTIN boss for his passion to service.
With this, you now have that absolute confidence, to get on with the good work you are doing. I can assure you that we will accord you, the requisite cooperation you need to advance the course of training to the next level. I wish you all the best.
The Executive Director, Human Resources and Capacity Building at TCN, Mr. Justin Ishaya Dodo, was glad to collaborate with NAPTIN to train more of TCN staff.
We believe that your trainings are going to be tailored towards our needs. But we can actually sit down with you, decide what we want, and then your designs can be something that will suit, our operations. So it's very, I'm very delighted to have you on this day.
We wish the NAPTIN management an exciting and impactful time ahead during the DG's tenure. To ensure efficiency and maximal utilization of power transformers across the transmission network, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and General Electric International have held a training for TCN engineers to update them on the various designs and types of transformers.
The unit's engineering manager of General Electric, Mr. Kali Okun, in a presentation at the training which held at the TCN headquarters in Abuja, said it was imperative to familiarize the engineers with the basic of power transformers and their designs.
Before that, organization think that in the world there are many factories, transformer factories of GE, okay? But of course, it's not an easy issue to manage all of that. It means it's not easy to make a standard transformer sometimes, okay? And what we did as GE this month, now we are a global organization, engineering organization. And with this organization, you can always think, what I mean, a customer now can always think that when he buys a transformer from GE, it means he will never think about the country. Because in all of the countries in the world, in GE for transformer, now we have a common design.
As he took the staff through the rudiments of transformer components and their types, Mr. Okun spoke about the poor construction of transformers and other technical defaults that TCN staff should look out for when procuring transformers.
There are many types of transformers in the world, okay? But I will not mention, of course, all of them. I have just selected 3, for example, which also given requested in your specification, far as I know, I don't know the generator side, but I know you are also asking for generator in a system. This is a grid. I'm sure you know very well, okay? The starting point of the story, let me say, call it story, is starting with generator step-up transformer, okay? Because you need to create the energy, okay? Create the voltage, okay? And at this stage, you need a generator.
There was also a question and answer session during the technical training where participants got responses to critical poses on the transformer types, their components, and other operational procedures. The General Manager Transmission Services, Engineer Idris Alim, who was represented by the Assistant General Manager Field Services at the Transmission Service Provider TSP, Engineer Isa Muhammad, on the sidelines shared more light about the training. He said it was to expose the TCN staff to transformer design and classifications. He said TCN invited General Electric International to conduct the training due to their global status and the design and manufacturing of power transformers. In his advice to the participating engineers and staff of TCN at the training, he said,
"Let us all put hands together and push the industry forward. So we need to put in our best and make sure that the industry is going forward."
The technical tendering manager for General Electric, Fran More, said the training was to help TCN engineers understand the parameters to use in selecting power transformers and the design process in selecting the right transformers.
The transformer is the major or the biggest equipment in the substation, so it's very important to get it right. So this training will enable the engineers to know the parameters they need to know to select the right transformer, because a transformer is a specific equipment. It's different for different substations. So this will help them to know the parameters. It will also educate more on the specifications that are required to select these transformers. And also in terms of the calculations that are required for things like the short circuit, the impedance, all of these are also covered in this training.
One of the participants and senior manager monitoring and evaluation department of TCN, Nathaniel Haruna, said the training was quite expository. He said,
"This very training or workshop is important for us to have more capacity to deliver on the system parameters and how to bring it to bear in the nearest future."
We hope the training will have a lasting impact on the participants. Let's take a break for a message. Please stay tuned.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
The routine maintenance of substations and power transmission equipment in the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Jos substation by the Transmission Company of Nigeria has boosted the efficiency of bulk power delivery in the Jos sub-region.
The Acting Assistant General Manager Transmission Jos Sub-Region, Engineer M.B. Ahmed, disclosed this to Power Wheel during one of such recent maintenance exercises at the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Jos transmission substation in Plateau State. He He said there was a slight tripping on a 150 MVA power transformer at the substation and that immediately TCN in-house engineers carried out relevant test procedure before putting the transformer back to service.
From what we have so far, we have almost completed the test and the result is very good and is favorable. So after this, we are just trying to couple everything back, the conductors, then we will go back to the control room and try it.
Mr. Ahmed explained some possible causes of tripping of power equipment on the grid, especially on the transmission network. As he said,
sometimes if there is an issue on the line, sometimes the transformer can trip on different relay indication. But this one is we are carrying out normal maintenance on the transformer.
Speaking on the nature of the various routine maintenance schedules, he said there are those done manually, bimanually, and as tripping issue arise, the team does several emergency tests and maintenance.
We normally carry out this maintenance annually. Every year we check all our power transformers, the switch gears, even our line. We used to maintain it by patrolling the line, and if we see anything abnormal, we attend to it, because some of this line, they are in the bushy area. So if we are not patrolling, something will happen on the line that we may not know.
Ahmed, who is the interface coordinator between TCN and Just Electricity Distribution Company, JEDC, spoke of how both companies relate in their operations.
We relate with them very well. Like for instance, since we are taking the supply and they are taking it from us, we are the transmission, we are the provider. So normally if our system is well, we have our allocation, we used to monitor them for whatever supply they take, because sometimes at their own end they may have some fault, and if we realize it's taking long, like my work as a coordinator, I used to find out what is going on, why is this delaying, and if they have issue, they want to take outage, they will have to come to us here, we give them outage. So as far as JED and here TCN, the relationship is very cordial.
On the coverage area of the transmission substation, he said,
by having 3x60 MVA transformer, each one, we don't normally take the whole load on that. We take 80% by multiplying with the power factor. So the 60 MVA we only supply 42. So if you look at it, 42 by 3, it will give you around 126. That's the capacity we can take, for instance, in this just substation. And remember, we have other substations within this sub-region that also cover their site. Like in Mike area, we still have 2x60 MVA transformers that we have outgoing feeders 6. And this jurisdiction cover even Mike area. We have 1x60 MVA transformer, at Kapanchan.
Engineer Ibrahim Kachako at the Jos substation's control room said a lot has improved in the sub-region. He said the primary challenge of the substation is lack of full evacuation of bulk power by the distribution company, DISCO.
We transmission, we are carrying the load, we are conveying the whole load from the generation to transmission and then distribute it to the distribution.
That is the progress reports from the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Just transmission substation. The Assistant General Manager, AGM Transmission, Bini Transmission Sub-Region, Engineer Isaac Okwe, in this interview discusses the various projects in the region, especially the brand new substation being constructed in Esako part of Edo State. Stay with us on this segment. What projects have been executed recently in this region?
The major projects that TCN has really done that has enhanced the capacity, that is the TCN capacity, includes but not limited to the following. We have a 60 MVA 13233 kV transformer installed in Benin here. We have another 40 MVA mobile transformer that is equally installed here in Benin. Then in Akure substation, TCN equally installed a 60 MVA 13233 kV transformer. And within the Delta, just some few weeks ago, we succeeded in installing a 330 kV circuit breaker.
Which of these is an ongoing project?
This last one I'm talking about is ongoing. It's a complete substation. It's a new substation under construction within Edo axis. And the name of the substation is ESACO 132 33 kV substation. I'll say bravo to our management and to our engineers. All these projects have enumerated and more are being executed by our engineers 100%.
TCN recently worked on the tallest tower in its network. Can you say more about this project?
This is really a fantastic experience we had within Benin region. The tower we're talking about is Tower 11 on Delta Supply 330 kV line circuit S4G. And this tower is on the bank of the deepest river in Africa, that is River Ethiop. It happened to have the conductor there snapped and dropped from that height, like the tower says the highest, I mean the tallest. So it's locally here, our team from Benin region are the one that did this work. We had the corporate headquarters management providing all the resources, while the local management in Benin here encouraged the the tax team to make sure that the job was done and effectively done and beautifully done. And in addition to that, something has never happened in the system. Equally took place in Benin some months ago. We had vandals attacking our line. That's Delta Benin 330 kV line circuits G3B. And after the vandals took some components from the tower collapsed. We were able to erect that tower, which is the first time it is being done as in-house since the system started.
What is the interface with other operators in the region?
The relationship, I can say, is cordial. Well, the likely issue we normally have is maybe like the number of trippings we're having from the 3 kV feeders that are there from us and the effect it has on our equipment. So when it's becoming, when it's trying to get out of hand, we'll call the attention to it. We normally have interface meetings, and by the time we discuss it, they take actions to sort out this. So that's why I said that we have had cordial relationship. So it's because of the duties.
With more support from stakeholders, TCN is positioned to deliver more projects in the region and across the country to uplift bulk power delivery experience in Nigeria. More on the interview segment in the next edition. We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. We appreciate you for sticking with us on this program. Join us next week on the same station for a refreshing edition of Power Wheel. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. You can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. See you next time.